GST was introduced on 1 April 2015 in Malaysia. Under this GST system, the business need to register with the Royal Malaysian Custom Department RMCD if their annual turnover exceeds 500,000. Next, the registered business must charge GST of 6% on the sales of goods and services to their customer. They also need to file GST returns monthly or quarterly. Also, they need to report taxable sales, purchases and GST owed or refundable. Other than that, RMCD also conduct audits and enforcement activities to ensure compliance with GST regulations. SST was introduced on 1 September 2018 in Malaysia to replace GST. Under this SST system, SST is charged at different rates for categories of goods and services. For example, the rate for sales tax is between 5% and 10%. The rate for service tax is 6%. Next, the registered business are required to charge SST on their supply of taxable goods and services. SST also can claim input tax credit paid on purchases and expenses just like GST. Other than that, business need to file SST statements monthly or quarterly. Taxable sales and purchases must be reported and the SST collected must be sent to the government. Lastly, RMCD conducts audits and enforcement activities to ensure compliance with SST regulations.
Next, we talk about the differences between GST and SST. There are several differences between GST and SST, and both have affect the economy in a good way. First, let me define what is GST and SST. GST in Malaysia was a multi-stage tax imposed on the supply chains process, which include the productions and distribution stage. While SST is a single stage tax applied either at the stage of manufacturing or at the level of consumption of goods and services. Also, they definitely have a compatible treatment such as for business. Getting a GST tax refund is quite tough because they need to have at least 500,000 in yearly sales to claim it. Although SST will reduce the government tax income by estimated 35 billion, the sales tax is applied to the cost of making or importing goods, and the service tax could apply to a variety of services, possibly leading to higher prices for this service overall. Based on rate treatment, GST has 6% fixed rate and not considered as costing nor service and surtax on good. After we introduce the SST, it's set 5% to 10% and there are specific tax rate depending on the government and 6% tax rate for the service tax. Besides that, GST ability to restrain the transparency, misappropriation and taxpayer issue, and it showed the high transparency in GST, while SST show a low transparency due to the importer, manufacturer, wholesaler or retailer that fail to declare their tax through the transfer pricing. Hence, in GST, it's increased the tax productivity, while in SST, sales tax productivity have been declined over the year.
Benefit for GST is favorable to businesses. GST in Malaysia has benefited the country businesses people. As the cost of goods falls, the consumption rate rises, getting benefits businesses. Drawback for GST is the tax burden for SME is previously manufacturing enterprise with a turnover of less than 1.5 crores were excused from paying excise tax on their products. However, after GST, the limitation for all enterprise was reduced 20 lakhs, which imposed a significant burden on all manufacturing companies. And last benefit for SST, a single stage tax, which means it is imposed only once across the whole supply chain, either when the product is produced one or it is imported into Malaysia. This means that everyone's cost of living will likely fall. Compensation will rise and businesses will be able to offer competitively priced product and service. For drawback, SST is while most countries have switched to SST, Malaysia has restored to SST despite widespread belief that it is a less progressive form of tax. This new tax structure has created uncertainty and caused some businesses money.
Based on my opinion, tax system that should be practiced in Malaysia is actually goods and service tax, or we call it as GST tax. Why I say that GST system is more relevant to be practiced in Malaysia compared to the SST system. This because the GST system is provided more benefits compared to the SST system. This because the tax rate of the GST is equally fair between the P40 group, M40 and also T20 in Malaysia. So to more easy, I will give you one example. So the GST system tax rate is only 6%. That is a fixed rate for the GST. So if you in a B40 group, you will buy a cheap price of good, and the price will times by the tax rate of 6%, and you will get the lowest tax that you must pay. And if you in T20 group, you will buy the expensive goods, and the price will time to the 6%, and you will get the highest tax that you must pay to the government. Other than that, GST also able to burden to the consumer, although there not much reduction compared to the SST system. Not only that, the GST system also get the exemption for the certain service such as education, health and also public transport that you will didn't pay any tax for the service. So in Malaysia, we should practice the goods and service tax GST because the benefit is more compared to the SST system.